Hi comic book fans, and welcome to suddenlycomics.com video. It's been day 2 at Thought Bubble, and I thought I'd show you some of the comics that I've purchased here at Thought Bubble. Virtually all of them I've bought from the artists or writers. And first up, we have an artist called Zoo or Zoo, who I wasn't particularly familiar with before I went to the convention. But I have to say, I absolutely love her art. It is exceptional. She is a truly talented artist. So the first one I've picked up here is a variant cover of Primordial 1. Just look at this cover, and there is Zoo's signature on it. So very pleased to pick that up. And I have another couple of covers by Zoo or Zoo, which are also signed. It's The Me You Love in the Dark issue. This is issue 4. Again, signed by Zoo. I mean, amazing. This is a true artist in all means of the word. I met her, I chatted to her. I am very, very impressed, and shall look out for her work in the future. So, and again, we have another another great cover. I think this is The Me You Love in the Dark. These are limited edition variants, I think limited to 400. You could buy them and then you could get Zoo to sign them. Right, and next up we've got something special. So I was very impressed by this lady's artwork, and I bought a blank cover of the House of Slaughter 1, and then asked Zoo if she would do a sketch of Erica Slaughter on the cover. And you can see here, look at this, absolutely tremendous. Strongly recommend this artist. I'm really pleased with these pickups. Right, next up, I also got a blank cover of Stray Dogs #1. And I found an artist called Jim Medway, who specializes in drawing cats and dogs. Well, I'm more of a cat person than a dog person, and I've got a cat who is a tabby. She's about 15 years old, and I asked Jim Medway to draw a tabby cat on my sketch cover of Stray Dogs #1, and look at what a tremendous job he has done. This is great. I'm really pleased with this, and thanks very much to Jim for this great sketch. And then finally, I bought a blank cover of Batman black and white '1, and I asked the artist, I think John Chalmers, who's a 2000 AD artist, if he would do me a Batman sketch on the cover of my Batman black and white #1, and he's done a tremendous job. I actually went out to a pub for lunch, had a pie and a pint, and as I was sitting there, John came in and he said, "Oh, I finished your sketch if you want to go back to the table and pick it up." So great, really like that. Now what have we got next? Okay, well, what we got next, it is, so there is a couple, Becky Cloonan, not Becky Cloonan, what am I on about? Michael Conrad and Danny. They are a couple. They live in Austin, Texas, and they came over for this convention. I've got a few things signed by Danny. and I was unaware of Michael before this, but I've also got a few things signed by him. So this is Batman Red and Blue. They wrote part and drew part of this comic, and as you can see, it's signed by both of them. Super, really pleased with that. Okay, here we go. Next, this is really nice. I've read this. This is a book called Hexa Eldritch. It's by a guy who's self-publishing. He hasn't put his name on the cover. Yeah, it's Neil Webber. Neil Webber. I really liked it. It's very unusual. The art is striking. And I talked to Neil. I did have a little bit of a chat with him. I did get a bit of a video with him. So I will be talking more about this guy later. But yeah, very impressed with this Hexa Eldritch. And I will be looking out for book 2. Different. Okay, next up we have, and I have to say I bought this because of the name, Sentient Zombie Space Pigs, by a husband and wife team, Boyle and Boyle. I bought this off the wife, I think it's Libby Boyle, and it's a fun read. I've read about half of it. I really like it. It's tongue in the cheek, horror, humor, some nice artwork. Gonna try and see if I can follow these two in the future. Right. Next up. Now this is by the guy. So this is just a little thing by the guy who did Hexa Eldritch. He's a graphic artist, and he got a couple of his things there, and this one just appealed to me because I've got a cat just like this. Stop staring at cats. You must not maintain prolonged eye contact with cats of any kind. Cats emit large amounts of feline radiation, which is extremely harmful to humans. He goes on to list the symptoms. Any of you out there with a black cat like this, I'm sure you will appreciate this one. Right, keeping going. Next up, a series called, and I haven't read this yet, but I just love the artwork on the cover of this first one. Grave Wax 1 and 2, described as combines a darkly gothic feel with sparky Scottish wit. Can't be bad. I can't be bad. I haven't read any of these yet. I did get issues 1 and 2, issue 3 and issue 4, and I did chat to the author, Heather Palmer, and all of these are signed by Heather Palmer and yeah, Ad McRitchie. Right, next up, right, Betty Cloonan. Betty Cloonan was at Thought Bubble. I'd taken some stuff up for her to sign, but she was part of the horror panel with James Tinian and Michael Conrad, and she has written this glorious piece here, which is a horror anthology and some portfolio artwork stuff called By Chance or Providence. It is sumptuous. It is really, really good. I mean, I read this last night after having bought it. And there you can see Becky signed it to me. I strongly recommend this for any fans of horror anthology. The art is, this is an artist, you know, who's honed their skills and abilities and is at the peak of their power. And she's also writing this stuff. She just said her favourite film was Company of Wolves. Read the first story in this and you can see the influence. Right, moving quickly forward, we have got volume 1 of Coffin Bound. This is by the writer who's doing Stray Pilots, Homesick Pilots, Dan Waters, and the art is by an artist called Danny, who was also there. This is great, and this is signed by, and it's got a beautiful little sketch here by Danny, signed by both of them. I read about half of it last night. I really enjoyed it. The artwork it's deep stuff, and it's going to need rereading. So this is the trade paperback, and we have volume 2 here. So I'm looking forward to going through that more. Right, next up, and this is really good fun. This is Jack Astro by Doug Wilson. And Doug did me a little sketch inside this comic, inside this hardback edition of his work. Great stuff. I've read probably about 30% of this. It is absolutely great. It is light-hearted, it is fun, the art really goes with the story. You know, I wish somebody luck when they're doing something like this. This was really fun, and I could see this being adapted for a Netflix or Amazon Prime show. It's really strong. So I really recommend Jack Astro by Doug Wilson. If you like your cartoons and you want something a bit science fictiony, a bit fun, you know, he's an extremely flawed superhero, but really like this. Okay, next up, we're nearly getting there. As a guy, he's a Beano artist called Kev F. Sutherland. I bought this one, A Midsummer Night's Dream, yesterday. Really liked it. Went back and bought his Finley Macbeth and his Prince of Denmark Street. So we've got Hamlet, Macbeth, and Midsummer Night's Dream. He's adapted them to sort of modern stories, but there's the full text of Shakespeare's originals in the back. £4.70 or something. A really, really good price. I'm going to donate one of these to my local primary school, and Kev has signed them all for me. Right, we're nearly there. Okay, finally, and this I have to say, this is a guy called Salvatore, and I can't say his second name. He's Italian, and he was one of the editors of this sort of magazine here that brings together art from around the world. That is not his art on the cover. He was one of the editors of this, but he is an artist in his own right. This cost me £6, which is one of the cheapest things I bought and one of the most glorious. This is a Chinese artist on the front they're highlighting. This is I asked him to sign it, and he didn't just sign it. He did this little sketch here. That's his surname, Juan Moracielli. I can't do it. He did it brilliantly, but I can't do it. Just fantastic. He interviews one of the artists in here. He's one of the people who created this. This is this poster here is by him. Tremendous stuff. I just love it. So this is the thing I love about these conventions. You meet people you would not otherwise meet. You see art you would not otherwise see. You know, this, just look at this. £6. I mean, glorious. Okay, comic book fans, not my usual production quality, because I've been doing this on my iPhone. I've got no editing feature, but I hope you've enjoyed this little view of the comics that I have purchased at Thought Bubble in Harrogate in 2021. Enough said.